Before we get into this video, I want to give a mad shout out to every single one of my Patreons. You guys are nothing less of amazing. Without you guys, videos would not be possible like this, and I appreciate your continued support. Also, welcoming to the group, we have Jordan Yates and Xavier Dayro. Welcome to the clan, guys. You guys are just too strong. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, you can also hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. For the people that want to support the channel and possibly want to just buy cards out of it, I do sell cards on TCGPlayer as well as Google Documents and on Instagram. You guys can go check out all three of those for the TheCaliEffect products. Without further ado, let's get into this game. It's going to be really exciting to see Gouki versus Pure Sky Striker, and excited to see who will come on top of this match. Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of TheCaliEffect, King of Games. Now, I do apologize for a little bit of the view. It was completely my fault, but today you're going to see Alex Wiener pilot, that's right, Gouki in the new format of using Topologic Gumblar Dragon against George Mirza's Pure Sky Striker. It's going to be a very awesome game, and let's dive right into it. Alex being able to start off with making Isolde off of a Gouki monster and a Sky Striker Hornet drones, and then activating Hornet drones only to be met by an infinite impermanence, denying his ability to search an additional warrior from his deck to his graveyard. But he's going to follow up with Soul Charge, special summoning a Gouki monster, that being Gouki Twist Cobra to his side of the field. A crucial card for this combo, not necessarily Twist Cobra, but the ability to be able to special summon a monster or to have a Gouki monster from his hand, because then he makes Gouki Headbat. Let's go ahead and highlight that card right now. What Gouki Headbat does is that when he controls a Gouki monster, he can discard one other Gouki monster to special summon it to his side of the field. The reason why that's so important because it allows him to put two monsters on his side of the field before he has to force himself to make Nightmare Goblin. He's going to follow with the rematch on top of a Nightmare Goblin itself to make a Firewall Dragon, giving him some pretty good resources, because now he can banish warrior monsters to continuously add that spell card, which is going to be Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, from his graveyard to his hand. That was sent to the graveyard for Isolde as cost. He is now going to use that Nightmare Goblin to make Nightmare Mermaid, triggering both Nightmare Mermaid and Firewall Dragon's effect. Firewall to special summon a monster from his hand to his side of the field, and Nightmare Goblin to special summon Ibli from his deck to his side of the field. And normally under these circumstances, you would think that the Ibli would come first, but no, if you put Firewall Dragon as your Chain Link 2, then you're in a pretty good spot. He's going to banish two more warrior monsters to add the Divine Sword from his graveyard to his hand, and that was going to make his second Nightmare Goblin, this time actually using its effect to discard to normal summon again, but not before he draws again, because his Nightmare Goblin is co-linked. I think he's actually going to use his Firewall Dragon's effect in response to his Nightmare Goblin to add two monsters from his graveyard to his hand, but we know right now he's adding Gouki monsters because Subrex was sent to the graveyard. That's the great thing about all Gouki monsters, that when they're sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a Gouki monster or Gouki card from your deck to your hand. And yes, as you guys can see, he used Firewall Dragon to add monsters from his deck to his hand, as well as the ability to search. He's going to go ahead and normal summon Ibli to summon Nightmare Goblin, and now he's going to make Nightmare Unicorn with the Ibli and the other monster that he had on his side of the field, which was a Nightmare Goblin. He's then going to use Ibli's effect to special summon to his opponent's side of the field, and then Firewall Dragon to special summon another Gouki Headbat. Finally using Headbat and the Unicorn to make Topologic Gumblar Dragon. And this is where Gouki got really good at. Let's go ahead and highlight this card, Topologic Gumblar Dragon. When it is link summoned, he can discard up to two cards from his hand to force his opponent to discard two cards from their hand. And that's what's so awesome about the card. But even more importantly, when Topologic Gumblar Dragon is extra linked, he can discard two cards from his hand to force his opponent to discard two cards. Again, this is forcing the opponent to be in a very bad position, only starting off with two cards in their opening hand. Now, is that pretty busted? Yeah, you can say that it's extraordinarily busted. He's then going to use the effect of Topologic Gumblar Dragon to discard two cards to discard two copies of cards from George's hand. And keep in mind, George did use Infinite Impermanence, so he's going to start off with one card in his hand if Topologic Gumblar Dragon makes an extra link. He's then going to follow with Nightmare Phoenix, and then use the last monster, Gouki Octostretch, to extra link the opponent, discarding two more cards. And then George is going to, wrap it up. It's pretty much game. Starting off with one card in his hand is not pleasant at all, and I'm pretty sure Alex would have followed up with a Trigate Wizard to completely prevent the opponent from playing YuGiOh. into game 2, George is going to start off with Foolish Burial to Darkest Diablos from his deck to his graveyard. And keep in mind, he's playing a pure Sky Striker build, and it's very awesome to see. I don't know why Sky Striker hasn't taken a liking to the North America territory, but it's a very, very good deck. Even on its own right, without Sky Striker Trickstar, this deck can still very much hold his own. He's just going to follow up with Sky Striker Mobilize Engage to search the Sky Striker Ace Ray from his deck to his hand. And then an Upstart Goblin into a reinforcement of the army, adding a Drollen Lock? Oh my, you kinda shady right there. Now he's gonna add Sky Striker Ace Ray. Now knowing that he has 2 Sky Striker Ace Rays, I wonder if he kinda wishes that he added a different card with his Mobilize Engage, or at least activated this Upstart Goblin beforehand. He's gonna go ahead and trigger his Darkest Diablos, using its effect to put a card from the opponent's hand to the top or bottom of the deck. Ironic how both of these decks both have hand disruption on their very first turn. And then he's going to follow up with another Sky Striker Mobilize Engage to add Sky Striker Widow Anchor from his deck to his hand as well, and drawing a card. So Sky Striker, Sky Striker is a very good deck. It just gets so many resources. He's then going to follow up with 3 cards face down and then use Shizuku's effect to search another card from his deck to his hand. I think he's going to be adding Sky Striker Afterburner from his deck to his hand. We have a pretty strong feeling that he's not going to be using it. So yes, that is the card he's going to be activating. Back to Alex's turn. 4 spell cards in the graveyard, so that makes all of his monsters reduced by 400. And Alex is going to start off with Supprex plus Junk Forward, and then Supprex effect to possibly special summon, yes, a Gouki Risk Scorpio from his hand to the side of the field. Now this could put him at a pretty significant advantage, using both of those monsters to make E-Soul, of course, and E-Soul activates effect, but it's met by a Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor, not only negating the monster, but preventing him from going deeper into his plays. And then George is going to change Share Ride to the searches of his Goukis. So now George is going to be able to gain some significant advantage and prevent Alex from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This game could already be over before it even started. Just the sheer ability to not only disrupt the opponent, but now gain more cards from his deck to his hand, as well as put more spell cards in his graveyard, further weakening Alex's Gouki monsters. He's then going to follow up with a card that he doesn't necessarily want to start off with. He wants to have the E-Soul on the board before he commits into doing stuff like that. But yes, he's going to make a second E-Soul using Gouki Rematch, and it's starting to look not so great for, oh man, that's not even better. It wasn't looking great because, you know, you used a Gouki Rematch to make another E-Soul, but now even activating E-Soul's effect again, it's met with an infinite impermanence, negating E-Soul's effect yet again. This has to be nauseous for Alex, watching all of his hopes and dreams go down the drain through this Sky Striker control. Now, normally, he wouldn't be able to activate any of the spell and trap cards because most of them are Sky Striker, but since Infinite Impermanence isn't a Sky Striker, or it doesn't care about having monsters in the main monster zone, it doesn't matter. Alex is going to follow up with a Nightmare Unicorn to attack into the Shizuku. Not 100% sure how that happened. Or actually, he discards to get over the Shizuku because he can't attack into it. That Shizuku is a little too strong with all those spell cards in the graveyard. And then he's going to attack into his own E-Soul. I don't really think he really cares about having it back. Unfortunately for him, George is going to special summon Sky Striker Ace Ray, and then on the end phase, use Ray's effect to special summon another Shizuku to his side of the field, and then trigger Darkest Diablos to special summon that monster to his side of the field. Right now, it's not looking good for Alex. It's looking pretty bleak. At least he played 2 E-Souls. I mean, both of them could get negated. That's awesome, right? No? So back into George's hand, or George's turn, he's going to activate, or he's going to search Sky Striker Shark Cannon. Let's go ahead and highlight Sky Striker Shark Cannon. Card's actually really interesting. It allows him to not only banish a card in his opponent's graveyard, but he can actually take it if he chooses to, if he has 3 or more spell cards in his graveyard. He's going to start off with Afterburner to destroy the Unicorn, and then follow up with another destruction card. But it looks like Alex actually has a Sky Striker card on his own to protect his Nightmare Unicorn. And he's going to go ahead and use Shark Cannon to special summon the E-Soul back to his side of the field. He really takes a liking to that E-Soul. Not 100% sure why, but we're not going to really question him that much. He's going to then use the Shizuku and the E-Soul to make Topologic Trisbana. And Topologic Trisbana is really good for ridding back row. Unfortunately, Gouki doesn't play too much back row, so we can only assume that this monster will be used to get over the Nightmare Unicorn, which it is, as well as free up some extra monster, or his main monster space, so we can go back to activating his Sky Striker cards. Now he's going to start off with Sky Striker Multi-Roll. Let's go ahead and highlight that card. It allows him to send a monster from his field to the graveyard to be able to prevent his Sky Striker spell or trap cards from being negated, but even more importantly, it gets Trisbana out of the field, meaning that he can now put a monster into the extra monster zone since the Sky Striker Ace Kagari and continue off with his combos. It's really clever, it's really smart. So now he has a Kagari, he's going to go ahead and add another Sky Striker spell or trap card or a spell card from his deck to his hand, and it looks like this is pretty much game. He's going to make Shizuku and then pass his turn. I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do, but 3 cards face down, multi-roll, setting another card, which is another Shark Cannon for more disruption, and also adding the field spell is going to be a little bit too much for Alex to handle. He's going to instant fusion into a Dragonis. Dragonis can't even attack, but you know, at least he tried something, guys. At least he tried something. Back into game 3, Alex Wiener is going to start off with a Sky Striker Mobilize Engage of his own. And yes, there are multiple ways that Gouki can play it. Sky Striker Engine is actually really good because then you get to play a different card inside of the Sky Striker deck. And while we're here, let's go ahead and highlight that card, Sky Striker Eagle Booster. It's such a good card. Basically what it does is if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can target a monster in your field and make it unaffected by card effects. Also, if you have 3 or more spell cards in your graveyard, it cannot be destroyed with battle or card effects for the rest of that turn. It's really important for preventing your E-Soul from getting Ash Blossom and Joy Spring or Effect Veilered, so it's a very powerful card in Gouki's. If you guys can't afford the Sky Striker engine, then regular Gouki is still a very good deck. If we did last time we did our meta analysis, the regular Gouki variant actually topped more than the new Gouki variant, especially with Gouki's winning another Nationals and doing it without you know, other certain cards. So it's so many ways that you can play Gouki, and that's what makes the deck really unique. He's then going to use his 2 monsters to make into a Nightmare Goblin. We can only assume that he's going to try to use the Topologic Gumblar Dragon, which got him a swift victory inside of game 1. So we really hope to see something very important from this. And now that I think about it, I don't know why George didn't hold the Infinite Impermanence, possibly for the Topologic Gumblar Dragon, but he probably wasn't seeing that if his opponent actually started going off, he could probably stop it at the Gumblar. He probably just thought he could stop him from going off right there, which I don't even blame him. I just thought about that as I started commentating. He's going to go ahead and use his monsters for a link summon a Firewall Dragon again. And you guys should already see what's going to go from this. Nightmare Goblin into the Ibli, chain Firewall effect, chain Ibli's effect, discard a card, special summon to your side of the field, and special summon Ibli. Then use those monsters for a link summon. No, it actually looks like he's doing it a different way. He can't use Ibli's effect. It seems like he might have Ibli inside of his hand, which is probably like the biggest brick. So we're just going to special summon a monster and use both of those monsters to make Underclock Taker. Whoa, was not expecting that. Expecting him to make the complete Topologic Gumblar Dragon combo, putting him at a huge disadvantage, but that's not the case inside of this particular game. He's going to go ahead and special summon Re-Scorpio to his side of the field since he did make a Underclock Taker, and then use Underclock Taker into Re-Scorpio to make a Nightmare Goblin, triggering its effect again, as well as Re-Scorpio. So now he's going to be able to at least get that normal summon. Or no, maybe he's not doing that. He's thinking about getting, oh, he's going to get the Divine Sword Phoenix Blade first. That would probably be the best idea before you start linking off into Nightmare monsters. So now he's going to make those monsters and then discard the sword to special summon to his side of the field, and also be able to normal summon in additionally, as well as search. So that's going to be, or I'm sorry, gain an additional normal summon as well as special summon and search. Yes, I did say it right. And that's going to be pretty cool. He's going to special summon Jump Forward to his side of the field, and he's going to normal summon Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. That monster is going to go ahead and special summon his second Nightmare Goblin, and looks like he's in a pretty different place. It's going to be harder for him to extra link, seeing that he used both Underclock Taker and Ibli, thinking that he only has, or I think he only has Link Kribo left into his extra deck. So yeah, it'll be a little harder in that aspect, but other than that, I don't think he's in a bad place. He's going to go ahead and give the opponent the Ibli and special summon, of course, the Gouki Twist Cobra from his hand to the side of the field, using, is he going to make the Topologic Gumblar Dragon? Is that the best options right now? Of course, he wants to use that Divine Sword Phoenix Wing Blade because that's one of the cards he wants to discard with Topologic Gumblar Dragon, as opposed to, I don't know, other cards that might be good. So yeah, he's definitely thinking about what he's going to do with his next play. He's going to add that Divine Sword Phoenix Wind Blade to his hand, and it looks like, yes, he might just make that Topologic Gumblar Dragon, just putting himself in a better position to do so, or possibly he can try to go for a Tri-Gate Wizard approach. But even still, he can still make Topologic Gumblar Dragon, even that. He's going to make the Nightmare Cerberus first, and then trigger Firewall Dragon's effect and Cerberus' effect. I think he's really trying to dig into his combos, trying to dig into something even better to help him extra link. Firewall Dragon's going to add a Octo Stretch as well as a Headbat, and he's going to destroy the Ibli. saying that it really isn't a great thing to give the opponent to Ibli. Back in the day when Ibli first came out, it was the most amazing thing, but now that we think about it, it's not the best thing. Next thing he's going to do is Link Summon again. Is he going to Link Summon? No, he's going to banish for the Divine Sword, and then Link Summon for that Topologic Gumblar Dragon, forcing both players to discard 2 cards. Now, if George does have an infinite impermanence, I think this would probably be one of the better times to use it, especially since it can be targeted at this point in time, but no, he doesn't. He's going to roll some dice and hit the Aerospace and the Terraforming. No filled spell card for George this time around, but on the bright side, it is 2 spell cards in George's graveyard, so once he only needs one more he only needs one more spell card in his graveyard, to combo off with his Sky Striker spell cards. Now Firewall is going to leave the field, or is he? Alex definitely thinking about his play. Something veteran players really should focus on is thinking about thoroughly what your play should be. Now, obviously, once you start moving cards away from the monster zone and such, it does become a little bit harder, but we're in a little bit more of a relaxed state. We expect players to make the best of most optimal plays inside of Yu-Gi-Oh! So taking it back or being able to think thoroughly your plays out loud is something that is very acceptable in the TheCaliEffect. And if you guys want to be on the #1 channel in the world, then go ahead, or you obviously have to be in the Las Vegas area too, my apologies, then go ahead and hit me up, guys. We are accepting applications for players that want to play on the #1 channel in the world, as you guys can see. So it looks like he's going to have Tri-Gate Wizard pointing to a Link Kuriboh, Topologic Gumblar Dragon, and a Nightmare Goblin, giving the monster an ability to negate. His Firewall Dragon's kind of useless, kind of not. It's okay. He's going to go ahead and activate, that's right, the Shark Cannon, and start banishing off some cards, seeing if his opponent is actually going to try to stop it. We don't know, but more importantly, he's going to get that 3rd spell from his hand to the graveyard, so now any of his other Sky Striker cards are just immediately pluses. He's going to normal summon Sky Striker Ace Ray and possibly make a monster off of it. He's going to use this effect. No, he's going to attack into the Link Kuriboh. That's actually the better move, forcing Link Kuriboh to activate its effect, but even more importantly, making Tri-Gate Wizard not being able to negate a monster. That's so good. So Link Kuriboh is going to activate its effect, making Ace Ray 0, but now he can activate Ace Ray in the battle phase, using its effect to tribute to special summon a Sky Striker Ace Suzuku to his side of the field, and he can still attack, but he's not. He's going to go into main phase 2. Oh man, that's crazy. His Mobilize Engage is going to be met with a Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, but he's just going to make Ace Kagari to add the Mobilize Engage back from his graveyard to his hand. And then on top of that, we already know he's going to add that Afterburner. And whoa, great beast of the sky, please hear my cry. Transform thyself from Orb of Light and bring me victory in this fight. Winged Dragon of Ra. Unfortunately, he can't do that. He already normal summoned this turn, so they're going to go ahead and reset that point. But you guys know what we expected for. You guys know what you expected. He's going to use the Afterburner, and Alex is pointing at his Nightmare Goblin, but the Nightmare Goblin was actually special summoned through the effect of Ibli. It doesn't have an effect. He can actually use the Afterburner to destroy the Topologic Gumblar Dragon. And now Alex knows what's coming for him. He knows that Ra chant is going to be very soon. Is he going to be able to dodge those effects? He's going to main phase 2, activate his Herculean Beetle to give his monster a little bit, or I think an attack. I'm not sure what the fuck that card does. It's not great, all right? I know it's a Pot of Avarice for your Sky Striker cards. I ain't even going to front with you guys right there. But it looks like it's Alex's turn to be able to make some type of comeback, because we all know that Great Beast of the Sky is coming. If he doesn't have a response, he's going to call by the grave the Sky Striker Ace Kagari, or a Sky Striker Ace Ray, really good option. And then he's going to Firewall into the Kagari, and he's going to inflict some damage, so hopefully Alex can follow up with the board after this. Is he going to follow up with a board after this? Now we know that Ace Ray isn't in the graveyard, and he's going to pass his turn, so you know what's going to happen. Let me say it one more time. Great Beast of the Sky, please hear my cry. Transform thyself from Orb of Light. Oh my god, is he making Ra? Is he actually going to do it? No, all right. Actually had me. If he would have summoned Winged Dragon of Ra, that would have been just great. 4,000 damage to George's face. That would have been too many plot twists that I could ever even comprehend. Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode is just a really good card, tributing your opponent's monsters, breaking Gouki boards. It's just very, very powerful. Can't be targeted, can't be attacked. But more importantly, its only weakness is if your opponent actually sided in that Winged Dragon of Ra, because then they can use the Sphere Mode, do the Great Chant, and then special summon Winged Dragon of Ra to the side of the build, and you're in trouble. It looks like Alex is going to be starting off pretty well with this engage into his Hornet drones, and then it's going to summon Junk forward to make Isol effect to add a warrior monster from his deck to his hand, that being Supprix, and then Isol's effect again to send an equipped spell card, probably my wife, Living Fossil, from the deck to the graveyard to special summon Gouki Octo Stretch to his side of the field, but does he actually have Octo Stretch to summon? Let's see if he does. No, he doesn't. Oh man, that's pretty sucky. But he's going to use the ESO to attack into the Droll and Lockbird. Unfortunately, he's not able to summon that level 1 because that would have put him in a pretty good position. George is going to activate Reinforcement Army to add Ray to bring out Kagari to bring out a Mobilize Engage, and then Special Summon Darkest Diablos. He does have a little bit of a problem since he has Sphere Mode on his side of the field. He won't be able to activate his Sky Striker spell and trap cards, and saying that the Sphere Mode can't be targeted, it just makes it really hard. Like Afterburner targets, if so many cards that target, it's going to be hard to get over. Not only he couldn't even activate Afterburner. So he still has a pretty decent board. Darkest Diablos, Shizuku that turned into or Kagari that turned into a Shizuku, and also a Sphere Mode that just is a really annoying card. He's going to go ahead and add multi-rolls from his deck to his hand on his end phase, and then pass it right back to Alex. Alex having such a strong board, having it destroyed by our hopes and dreams by the ball. I don't even know what to call it, just the ball of destruction. Is it Hammond? Is it Wrecking Ball? I came in like a wrecking ball. I know you guys can't wait for me to drop my EP. I'm dropping one of those albums like Drake. You know, gonna drop a singing album and half rap album. But enough of myself. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. That was an awesome game. And again, if you guys want to be on the #1 channel in the history of the world, then go ahead and hit me up. If you are in the Las Vegas area, I would love to see a live duel with you. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day, like I am.